But I've been having this ongoing thought process of trying to identify, and I've mentioned this in some of the past shows, but I guess it's an ongoing thought that's being developed so I can fully understand how I want to convey it. And I'll attempt to do that today. I've been having this thought process trying to identify not just the mentality, but the type of person, the culture that is responsible for subduing people and making them docile and willing to accept the state and all these horrible things. You know, some of us, we call this statism, right? A love for the government. Well, to me, statism is only a piece of the problem. Statism, yes, is the problem that people willingly worship and follow a government that doesn't have its best interests at heart. Like that's not a good thing. That's horrible, right? We would hope that they would have a better sense of self, a better better concern for themselves to not support something that is, killing them, literally killing us every day. But that's not the case. We see people do support the state, and they support its programs, as we just said, through war and through torture. But I think at the heart of it, it's not just statism. It's not just this blind worship of government. That's why I talk about the conscious resistance, that it's not just the government that we're worshiping. It's really that we don't believe in ourselves, and we need to become stronger, more conscious, empowered people in order to get past that, right? So it's this deeper way of thinking. But when I try to look around and I see this culture, right, I was thinking about this as far as yuppies, right? Yuppies moving into parts of the neighborhood. And what I mean by yuppies, I guess they call that young urban professionals. And what I mean by that is, and I hate to use generalizations like that because I hate the word hipster, because I don't even know what the word hipster means. Hipster, yuppies, I guess they're probably the same thing. But that's coming from a judgmental mindset, right? And I find myself being like, damn, why am I judging these people because they're moving to the city from the suburbs? Or like, I'll go like, damn, white people, why are all these white people coming out here? But then I'm like, wait, that's racist. That's not compassionate. What is it? It's not just that they're from the suburbs. That's not the problem. It's not just that they're, white, whatever color they are. That's not it either. It's this mentality of person that doesn't follow their own thinking, that really just whatever's provided for them, they're going to accept, right? It's this mainstream thinking. And I don't just mean mainstream in the sense of, okay, mainstream media. We know the problem with that. We know why mainstream media is bad. It's about controlling people and dictating the message that the oppressors want, right? Then you look at the mainstream music, right? Most mainstream music sucks too. I mean, yeah, here and there we all can kind of enjoy a mainstream radio pop song, right? But for the most part, that culture is not a culture that is conscious. It's a culture of like party, be self-absorbed, don't give a shit, just all this stuff that's not going to lead to long-term happiness or fulfillment. And then we have like mainstream music, movies pushing their various messages. Then you look at just the mainstream clothing, which is real, I would say, more generic and kind of like a certain, everybody, if you have a certain haircut or tattoos are getting more acceptable, but even if you just look different than the average person, you can change your hair a little bit here, you can wear this weird shirt here or there, but if you go outside too far of those realms, you're just looked at like, whoa, what are you doing here? And why are you dressing like that? Why are you acting like that? Why are you being an individual? And so we see it in the music, movies, politics, culture in general, clothing, lifestyle. And I think that this is just the person that lives and is told like, okay, you go to school, you follow that pattern, like you get a job, you get married, and you live your life and you do that. And nothing against those things for those who also follow down those paths. But I think if you're listening to this show, you're probably not thinking in a mainstream sense whether or not you have those things in your life. But this person does them not because necessarily that's what is going to make them happy, but because that's what's in front of them. Like, okay, I'm supposed to do things this way. There's TV stations provided for me. There's radio platforms provided for me. They're not going deeper and looking. You know what I mean? I hope I'm getting this across. This is the type of person that isn't looking at the deeper issues. They're accepting the surface level of everything. The politics, music, movies. They don't go out and find their own, obscure music, obscure films and philosophers. It's just whatever's provided for them. That is the problem. That is this mainstream, and I really feel like, yes, statism is a part of that, because part of that is worshiping the mainstream systems of governance, the government, and just thinking that's all there is. But it's bigger than that. Statism is just one piece of this, and I think there needs to be a term for this. Maybe there is, and I'm just missing it. It's this mainstream style of living and existing, and it's something. We can give it an ism if somebody out there is creative and can think about that. Statism is a part of it, but I don't think statism is the whole, which is the whole point of the conscious resistance, realizing that it goes deeper than just the physical manifestations of control, and not even just the physical manifestations in the government, but other physical manifestations. And then once you can go past that and start questioning the government, start questioning the music, start questioning the media and the mainstream thinking, the history books and all the schooling and all the crap that you've been taught, and really challenging it and finding what you believe, then you can go deeper and find out who you are, and no one can sway you and push you one way or the other, because you will be empowered and you'll be balanced and working on who you are and developing that. And that's what we need to aspire to.